Hey, it must be Friday night. Once again, we are here. We are semi-live with the MCT podcast. I, of course, am Chris, or as you can see on your screen, at Mr. Topher92 on Twitter. On my screen down below me is the one, the only Mr. Michael Robinson. To my right, we've got Todd05, also known as Todd A. So glad to see you guys' smiling faces once again, and that means it is time for our favorite time of the week, and that is our MCT podcast, guys. We've been doing this for a month already. Can you believe it? That's pretty crazy. Time flies when you're having fun. We got a very nice message from our leader up above, from Craig, this week. Tana, you probably didn't see it on Twitter, but he shouted us out, said we've had it. Yeah, said we had a good month. Every video has performed really well according to what he's been kind of hoping for us. So really look forward to doing some things, and we definitely have a couple of projects in the works. Not to get ahead of ourselves, but we've got some projects in the works. May or may not be March Madness related. So we got to go big for March Madness. It's here in Indy, guys. The entire tournament is here in Indy. The JW Marriott across the street from Victory Field has the world's biggest banner. I mean, or bracket, if you will. We have to go big for it. So we've got something planned for that. But you know what it's time for. You know what we got to do. We got to recap last week's picks, and I will get started. I picked Phoenix over Portland, and I don't want to call myself a guru of any kind, but got that one right. Nailed it. The Phoenix just keeps winning. They say hot. The All-Star break did not cool them off at all. They looked really, really good last night. What really most impressed me with that game, that ended up being a 127-121 Suns win. I picked 135, 123, so still pretty close. It was right in the realm of what we're looking for. But they were tied at half with Portland. They were actually down 4 to start the fourth quarter, and they battled right with him. And you know what? To me, that looked like what I think we're going to see in the Western Conference playoffs, guys. High-scoring offenses, close games, back-and-forth battles, and it's really, really impressive to see a young team like Phoenix pull a win like that out when you're talking about a potential playoff. You're talking about a fellow playoff team there. Booker led the way, shocker, with 35 points. He had 5 boards, 8 assists. Jay Crowder and Cameron Payne get a shout-out for coming off the bench. They were big. They each had 13 points, and they also both made 3 three-pointers. So bench depth helped get this win for him. Damian Lillard was Damian Lillard. He had 30 points. It just wasn't enough to get that win over the scorching hot Phoenix Suns, who are now on a 5-game win streak as of this recording. So congrats to the Suns, keeping hot, and congrats to me getting my record back to 2-2, sitting at 500 on my picks as an individual. Michael, I believe you are next. How was your picks? How'd you come out?
Garbage. Can we summarize the garbage? My picks were for the entire UFC main card, and right. I said that if I got 2 out of the 3 of them right, we'd count it overall as a win.
Yep.
So I ended up 0-3, and let's talk about that. So the first fight,
you couldn't even get one.
No, I couldn't even get one. First one wasn't my fault. Let me reiterate. Peter Yan, you fucked me, bro. This man was winning the fight easily. The guy, his opponent had no life in him on the ground. Okay. If he would have literally just kept like hammer fisting, it would have been called off. It would have been done. Instead, the man lifts up his head and goes, I'm going to need that. And just pile drives him, illegal knee, loses the belt, and just screws himself. Now, apparently, he asked his corner in Russian, hey, should I knee him here? And they were like, yeah, do it. Even though the referee was shouting out, he's down, and just did it anyway. Screw it, whatever. And just got himself disqualified. I'm so pissed because he was winning the fight. It was close at first, but it just completely flipped the other way. Mm-hmm. And then something I actually took some heat for is I picked Megan Anderson to beat Amanda Nunes. I should have known better. Amanda Nunes is the GOAT of female fighting easily. Like nobody even holds a candle to her. I don't even think there's anybody left to fight now. And she got destroyed. Like literally, I think I got up, got a beer, came back, fight was over. Like it was just done. She could fight again next week. Like it was over easily, which is insane.
And that's why I don't pay for fights. Imagine paying $60 for a fight and you miss it because you go to grab a drink. Like, I'd be so pissed.
The fight I was really interested in watching was Israel Adesanya, Izzy, versus Jan Blachowicz. And I knew this fight was probably going to be boring because Jan Blachowicz has just outright knockout power, and Izzy doesn't want to get knocked out. So they were both just kind of respecting each other's power, going back and forth. It was really boring to watch, but it was kind of just more like a chess match. They were waiting to see who was going to mess up. And ultimately that was Izzy, because you're not going to let a man about twice your overall mass lay on you and expect to win the fight. So he lost. It was a close fight. I think it was 3-2 were the rounds. So it was really close up until the end. But yeah, it was, it sucks. He lost his first one. He's going to get another one. It'll be fine. He didn't lose his belt. He still kept it. He just didn't win the other one. Tade, I think you're up, buddy.
Well, let me start off by saying that last week I said, if you bet on, the preferred candidate to win a UFC fight, you're going to win 66% of the time. I put 9 bets on the UFC fights last weekend. I won 6 out of 9. So,
hey,
yeah, that keeps up with what I said. And thank you, Nunez, for winning me money. So, Michael, how do you not get that one right? I don't know how.
I played the underdog, man. Leave me alone. Leave me alone.
Tony doesn't know anything about fights, and he's still got that one right. That's great. That's
Unless
great.
It's a main card event. I'm just like, let's go with percentages.
Oh, that's so good.
But for my pick, I wanted to pick, Team LeBron over Team Kevin Durant for the All-Star game, but that was too obvious. It was going to be a win. So I picked something a little more difficult. I said Juventus over FC Porto, and they did. They won. So notch that up for a win for me. I'm 2-2-1 now for my record. However, UFC did not advance because they lost on aggregate because they had less away goals. So it's a loss for them going to the Champions League further on, but a win for me for this week.
Because soccer makes sense. So for those of you keeping tally at home, I will give you, here we go. Ready? Michael, the whopping 0-4 coming in strong in third place. I guess technically in second place would be me with 2-2. Tade is 2-1-1 tie. So that brings our total to 4-7-1. And I just want to point out, if we did not have Michael on here, we would be over 500. That's all. No, just stating the facts here. And hey, and now we're 4-3-1. Woo! Look at that.
All right.
So as you guys all know, unless you're living under a rock, we had the NBA All-Star event all in one day on Sunday of last week. Got to start off with a big shout out to our big man out of Indy, coming through strong, wins the skills challenge, gets his revenge. In my opinion, I even tweeted it out. He gets his revenge not once, but twice, because he gets his revenge for losing in the final round last year. And he also gets revenge because in the finals this year, he beat Nikola Vucevic, who stole his all-star spot originally. And, so it was a great vindication, I'm sure, for him. I'm sure he just had fun with it anyway. I'm sure he really didn't care one way or the other, but he went out there. He looked really good. He did what he's been doing really in the first half of the Pacers season is, shooting when he needs to shoot, hitting shots, but he's great passing the ball just like his dad was back in the day. So that was a lot of fun. We actually all predicted that Domas would win that. So round of applause to us. We're good. The 3-point contest. Michael, talk about the 3-point contest.
All right. So, like I said before, since it wasn't a dunking competition, Zach LaVine was eliminated pretty early. I'm just kidding. Zach LaVine actually balled out. He actually impressed me a lot. I figured he was going to have the lowest score. I was wrong. But Mike Conley, shout out to Mike Conley, man. He made that an absolute fight and it came down to the wire, and I loved it. And
yeah,
because I don't think anybody picked him being there in that final round and having Chef Curry, except for one man, Tade did. I'm sorry. Yeah, he's on my left side. But
there it is.
Tade, shout out to you, man. But ultimately, you don't bet against Chef Curry in a 3-point contest. He pulled it out in his last shot. And I unfortunately taught my daughter how to do the little Chef Curry because she walked around the house doing that after Chef Curry won. And it was adorable. It was absolutely adorable. I think she has a new favorite basketball player.
Throwing her mouthpiece everywhere?
There it is.
Yeah.
And Tade, why don't you talk to us about the dunk contest? What you got from that? What do you remember?
Ladies and gentlemen, what an abysmal showing for a dunk contest. I will say this, however, while watching the good dunk contest, I thought Cassius Stanley wasn't very good. I thought his dunks were mediocre. I thought, horrible showing for him. Makes sense why he was eliminated. I thought the scoring was horrible too by the judges. But after watching it again, what his dunks were, I really think Cassius Stanley got screwed. His first dunk was the best dunk in the entire dunk contest. What's better, Obi Toppin trying to do the exact same dunk he did? Simmons, kissing the rim, who didn't kiss the rim actually. He was that close.
No.
And bro, why are you out here trying to kiss something in COVID times? That's just gross.
Exactly.
That's nasty.
So
that's just nasty.
The big thing that I heard over that night is that they thought that Stanley made that first dunk look too easy than it actually was.
Mm-hmm.
And
which
that's the point. He's that good. You should.
The fact that he made it look so easy should have lent itself to even more of a high score. Like the fact that you could do a difficult dunk and make it look like not a difficult dunk, that's the point of the dunk contest. So you're telling me you would have rather him go out there, failed it a few times, then finally got it at the buzzer, and then you would have been hyped for it? That's BS. That's absolute trash. But I completely agree. The first dunk of the contest was the best dunk. I think the second one was Obi Toppin jumping over whoever, I don't even remember who he jumped over. It was that forgettable, but he jumped over two guys. That's always, it's one that's been done before, but it's always fun and it's always impressive because you're getting 7-footers standing out there, even if they duck their head, even if he puts the hand on the shoulder. I'm not that much of a stickler, guys. I'm 5'2", man. Any of these things that they're doing is just insane to me. Like I give them mad props all over the place, but also the fact that Cassius Stanley's first dunk, do y'all realize how difficult it is to do what he actually did? That he actually went through the leg that he jumped off of. So he jumped off I think it was his right leg and put the ball beneath his right freaking leg. That's insane. So he had to jump off. I mean, think about that. Everybody, like viewers, think about that. Think about when you jump, you plant your foot and you push off. Then think about putting that leg higher than your other leg that's already in the air, and then putting a basketball underneath it, catching it with your other hand, and putting it through a hoop. It's insane. The best part of the dunk in my opinion, the best part of the dunk contest was Cassius Stanley saying he had fun, he wants to do it again, and he had a plan to do a dunk with Sabonis if he had made it to the finals. I was like, that's all I need to know. I'm ready for more.
I was really just loving that everyone was just dogging on D-Wade the entire time. D-Wade was getting brutally murdered on live television, and it was probably the best thing, especially when they called it the D-Wade rule, where he had to pick the player instead of the score. That was so bad.
That was great.
The judges have been horrible these past couple of years. They need to get them.
They really have. I don't know I don't know what you do to fix that. I really don't know what you do. Like, who do you go and get to? I don't know. I just don't know.
They had one. Yeah. Dominique Wilkins and Spud Webb were both two-time dunk contest winners.
You know that dunk contest they used to have on TNT with Kenny Smith as a host?
Oh my God. Is that the one that Jordan Klingon won?
It was like Dunk Champions or something, yeah.
Yeah, that's the guy who I said they should have had an amateur contest and bring in a guy like Jordan Klingon who's super creative. He's still to this day
them be the judges
fucking
because they're
trying
good.
to come up with new ones.
Yeah,
right. But also
those guys be the judges.
with what Michael just said, I totally agree that this year of all years, when you were going to do it at the halftime of the All-Star game, you purposely weren't going to use any All-Stars who were in the game. That's why guys like Cassius Stanley and Obi Toppin got the call, is to fill in for this. Why would you not? Like, great to give them a platform. I get it. That's fine. But you should have done a full field of amateur dunkers. That would have been amazing to watch this year of all years. If you're going to, that would have been incredible. That was in my opinion, that's a super big missed opportunity. All right, we're going to move on to the All-Star game itself real quick so we can keep it rolling. We can get this recap done. It went as well as it went, just like we all predicted. Team LeBron trounced KD with a 170-150 win. What I did find interesting was two stats. One, LeBron is now 4-0 as an All-Star captain with this format. He has not lost since he's been an All-Star captain, since this format was created. It's pretty good. It's not bad. So you want to be on Team LeBron, everybody. Big brain moves out here. I also noticed every single quarter in this game was actually really close. They were all a 1-point difference. Two went the direction of Team LeBron. One actually went the direction of Team KD. The difference in the game was the second quarter. It was 60-41 in favor of Team LeBron. So that's where obviously they made their separation going into halftime. And if y'all remember, that's when Dame Lillard and Steph Curry decided we're just going to go hit back-to-back half-court shots. So that was cool. Fun. That was a lot of fun. And then the last thing we can talk about, Giannis was the big individual story. He won the MVP with a truly dominating performance with 35 points, which was a game-high score on 16 of 16 shooting, and he was 3 of 3 from beyond the arc. That final 3 was a perfect bank shot, and I think at that point he was like, I'm done. If I'm going to bank that in and still be perfect, like that's the one I'm going out on. All right. Last thing I will say about the All-Star game, and I hate to say it, but I'm going to do it for you, Michael. Steph Curry had himself a hell of a game. He had 28 points, shot 10 of 19 from the floor, 8 of 16 from beyond the arc, so shooting 50% from 3. So, yeah, got to give it up to Steph Curry. Probably would have won MVP had Giannis not been perfect from the field and scored 35. Dame was fun off the bench too. Scored 32 points, 11 of 20, and another 8 of 16 from 3. So they were a lot of fun.
Big thing I want to point out too is they weren't like, just average game threes. They were just chucking it.
No, they were
waiting
deep.
If something like,
yeah, they were
goodness.
Deep.
And I still love my favorite moment for the entire game was Steph Curry shooting 3, spinning around, just staring down the crowd as the ball went in. That was just hilarious to see, and seeing LeBron falling out of the bench when Dame and Steph were shooting those deep threes. It was hilarious. But I only watched. I'm not gonna lie.
I think my favorite part of the game actually was when at the very beginning of the game when LeBron did his chalk toss. And Steph was mic'd up and literally got like right underneath it. And he's like, I've never been this close to this thing before, and watched it from right here. And he was like, that was so cool. And that made me laugh, and it was wholehearted and it was great. And then I was like, wait, you've never been that close to it. How many finals have you battled against this man? Or you had 7-game series. I mean, I guess he probably didn't do it that much in the finals. And Steph's obviously getting focused for those games because it's not the All-Star game that's trying to win a chip. But I was like, can't tell me you haven't been this close to it before. But oh well. So with the All-Star break being officially over, the season started back up this past Wednesday. I just want to know, as of the current standings right now, guys, I want one team that's going to surprise us. But basically, they're right here right now, but we expect them to move up in the standings. Easy. And then a team that's, shocker, going to move the other direction, a team that's going to disappoint everybody as the season unfolds. What team do we think is kind of overachieving to this point, if you will? I am going to actually talk about the less talked about conference in basketball this year, the Eastern Conference, for both of these teams. My surprise team going to be none other than these Indiana Pacers, baby. Indiana Pacers. I'm telling you guys, I'm super excited. I will give a disclaimer. I was going to pick the Knicks for this segment, for the surprise team, because I really like what they're doing. Tade, they got your boy Julius Randle out there, an all-star performance for sure. Believe it or not, the Knicks are 19-19 and right in the thick of things. And you know what? 500 is going to do a lot in the East this year, it seems. So I was going to pick them. Shout out to them. They're doing a lot of things. But literally today, as I was typing that up, got the notification, got the word that Karis LeVert is coming back to these Pacers, and he is going to play Saturday night against Phoenix on the road in Phoenix. He's ready to go. He's healthy. And you know what? He is a big factor. I don't think you can overstate how much he is going to be helpful for this team, because he's just such a natural scorer, which is really what this Pacers team is missing. Is just that natural, like, hey, the play's breaking down. We need a guy to go get a bucket. Just go make something happen. As great as Brogdon is, he's not really that guy. He's so much more of a facilitator and you know, the head of the offense, a quarterback, if you will. Same thing with Sabonis. Sabonis is a big and down in the paint, so he's not really a creator. LeVert's a different kind of beast, a different kind of factor for this team. So, you know, I'm going with the Pacers just because I think they're just in a slump, and now this is really going to bring some new life into this team. So I'm super excited. That I'm sure the Pacers are super excited. Just that breath of fresh air, that added win, that second win is going to get them. I actually think I'm going to say that I'm going to go this far. Right now, they're the 10 seed. I think they can finish in the top 4 seeds in the East if they really get it together. They're as good of a team as most of the teams in the East right now. My team to disappoint, even though it's not going to disappoint me if it comes out to be true, is the 76ers. Look, straight up, I just don't like them. But I also think they've overperformed to this point to hold on to that 1 seed. I think, and I understand they've played really well and they have sustained it, and they've got a strong MVP candidate in Joel Embiid. But I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm saying they're going to regress to form. That the law of averages is going to finally catch up to them here in the second half. And I guess it's kind of my hot take. I don't even think they're going to finish in the 1 or the 2 seed. I think they're going to end up being the 3 or even the 4. Because I'm looking at Brooklyn is only a half a game behind them. I think Brooklyn will end up with the 1 seed, and Milwaukee is finally putting it together, and we know they can play as good as anybody in the regular season. So I think those are going to be your top 2 seeds. They'll probably finish 3, to be honest, but I'm hopeful that maybe one of those middle of the pack teams catches fire, like the Pacers or even the Knicks, or somebody just kind of catches fire for a stretch there, takes that 3 seed, bumps Philly down to 4. But I think they'll finish 3 or 4.
Well, to add on to your point about the Sixers kind of sliding back down, I don't know if you saw, but Joel Embiid is actually out for the game. He's going to have an MRI in his left knee. So I don't know what's going to happen there. It looks like he hyperextended it after a dunk. I don't know what's going to happen to the 76ers. He is their best player. So that's not boding good. It looks like, because Chris, as you were saying that, is when we all got the ESPN notification that he hurt his leg.
Yeah.
Ouch, buddy. T's and P's, Joel Embiid.
The curse is real. Don't piss me off.
Thoughts and prayers, Joel Embiid. Thoughts and prayers.
Scarlet Witch ain't got nothing on me. Just kidding. Just kidding. Just
Wow.
kidding. Just kidding.
How could you spoil Jar Jar Binks?
Just kidding. Terrified. I'm terrified of her. All right. No. Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby.
So,
all right, Michael, get us back on track.
So yes, I think the Mavs are going to figure it out, not because they have probably one of my favorite players in the NBA in Luka Doncic and the unicorn, Kristaps, but it looks like they're actually starting to get that chemistry back again. Like it's really kind of starting to slide back into form. Because the last time we talked about them being a disappointment, they were not even in the playoff hunt. They were below 500. And since then, they're on a 4-game winning streak currently. I think it's actually at the 5. Did they beat San Antonio the other night? I didn't see.
I don't remember.
Okay.
I'm a bad podcast host. I'm sorry.
I wrote this before the game, so I didn't update it since. But they were, at the time of writing, 19-16. They're on a 4-game winning streak, and Kristaps and Luka seems like they just gotten their act together. And so I think that they're going to probably end up pushing themselves from that 7-8 seed into the 4-5 if they keep this train going. They have that kind of talent even in the West, because Luka is just hot. Now I don't even know if this is a hot take. He is the best young guard currently in the NBA. He can do it all. Yeah. And Kristaps it's Kristaps. Guard that, please. The team who I think is definitely playing above their station, which as much as I hate to say this, it's Charlotte with the Hornets. Because outside of a couple of players and a rookie of the year I think he's going to win it. I think he's going to be the Rookie of the Year winner in LaMelo Ball. They don't really have a whole lot else. Oh, Cody Zeller. Woo.
Love me some Zeller. Come on now.
I know you, IU kid.
Come on. Not even an IU kid.
I know. Also, shout out IU for losing. I don't have to eat my jersey. Hey.
Easy bet right there.
Yeah, and you gotta be pretty happy. They didn't even really make you sweat in that one. They lost. Oh, no. They lost early, often, and big. It was done.
No, it was over. They tried. I'll give them credit there. They tried. Yeah, they actually came back a little bit. But I don't know how they ever thought they had a chance. I'm sorry.
I don't think.
But my brother goes to IU. That's part of the reason why I just can't stand IU even more than me being a Buckeye fan. But yeah, I just see Charlotte kind of dipping down. If they're a playoff contender, I think they're going to be the 7 or the 8 seed. I just see them kind of starting to fall apart. That rookie wall starts to hit, and I just see them starting to slide. But Todd, I think you're going to disagree with me on this, aren't you? The way you even looking at me.
Fighting words this entire time to me. You see what we write for this?
He's locked, loaded, ready to go.
The team I put down.
I know. I just get to sit back here and I just get to sit back here and enjoy because go.
You want to go?
I just pull my strings.
So let's break it down a little bit for the Charlotte Hornets. Okay. All right, I'm gonna go on a little spiel here, and then I'll say why they're poised to get at least a solid 6th seed and continue on the up and up and get into the playoffs this year. You know, better than a 7th or 8th seed. So first off, Michael Jeffrey Jordan is the owner of the Hornets. All right, that man is out there just looking at the players, and be like, "You got to guess the playoffs or not." That man was like, you know, LeVar, we're best buds now. I'm gonna take your son. We're gonna win a championship. You know,
still want to know if that 1-on-1 happened.
Number 2, my man created the Lakers, you know, 2010 dynasty with Kobe and Powell. Mitch Kupchak. So the GM, you know, everyone's been trashing on him for, you know, signing Mozgov, you know, back in the Lakers off his championship. And then it's like, oh, big deal here. Ooh. You know, he's been solid picking up, you know, players for the Hornets. You know, it's nothing to scoff off. They have a good squad that he's been picking out. You know, it's good GM moves. And then, of course, we have to look up the pickups they did this year. So first, obviously, you know, they got Gordon Hayward, who has been solid for them. He is still a star-level player. He gets you the points every night. What did they do last year? They traded for Terry Rozier, who has been stellar for them. And then what do they do during the NBA draft? They got the best player out there so far in LaMelo Ball, who has been going off. He is the only rookie to make it to the All-Star break, leading in all categories for all rookies. Yeah, bet on him to win Rookie of the Year.
I didn't disagree on that.
You're not going to win. You're not going to win much if you bet on him at this point.
Their coach is not Steve Clifford. That's the other big point, guys. If it was a Steve Clifford run team, look at the Magic are right now with nobody. Exactly. Hornets poised to keep going up after the half. The team's cooking. They weren't using LaMelo in the beginning of the season. He was on the bench. You know, he was riding it for a while. Now, boom, he's getting more minutes, getting more playtime, getting more points, getting more rebounds, getting more assists, getting more steals. He's going to go off. Now let's talk about, you know, let me go off of this tangent here and go to my team that I think is going to be on the downward trend, who, you know, it's surprising. When I wrote this, I didn't think this was going to happen, but the Spurs are looking to, you know, release or trade LaMarcus Aldridge because they're going to be parting ways. There have been some issues in the past with the team and how it's been managed, what the play style is, and LaMarcus just hasn't been doing it. He just doesn't like what Pop is making over there in San Antonio with him. I feel bad for DeMar DeRozan because now he'll be on a mediocre team once they push out LaMarcus Aldridge. Where LaMarcus Aldridge go? I don't know. Have him go
Brooklyn
back to
Nets.
Portland. Yeah, somewhere. He'll end up in Toronto.
Or DeMar DeRozan. Hey, at least DeMar DeRozan was in Toronto when they won the chip, right?
Why do you have to do that to him, man? That poor guy.
He got a ring.
Compton, born and raised, man. Let's go LA.
I hope they gave him a ring.
Oh, that'd be so mean. At least he had a good Game of Zones episode on Bleacher Report.
Well, there you go. That's just as good as a ring. I got you.
It is. It's gonna be on the internet forever. So you know what? Sucks for the Spurs, but they're not gonna be in the playoffs. Hornets are on their way up, though. That's it.
All right. Michael, looks like you typed in a little note here. What you got for us? Actually, yeah, go ahead, because you and I know. So yeah, go right ahead.
So before the show started, I didn't know this, but Tyler didn't know that the Michigan State University men's basketball team has officially changed their name. And I mean, I've seen it all before, but I've never seen a team named the MSU Spartans presented by Rocket Mortgage.
What?
That is a real team name.
What?
I have seen jersey sponsorships are one thing. All right. You can have everybody out here looking like a stock car from NASCAR. That's fine.
What?
We're putting it with the goddamn names now. But you know what? I guess these college athletes had to be paid. Oh, wait.
This is a public school. What?
Where's the money going?
Magic Johnson didn't play for that team. He played for the Spartans. Gilbert owns the Michigan State Spartans basketball team now. He already owns the Cleveland Cavaliers. What? I know they're based in Michigan, but give me a break. What? They actually put the name of the company in the... How is that legal?
They are... I don't know, but they are literally the Michigan State University Spartans presented by Rocket Mortgage. That is their official
than the Ohio State University.
I mean, let's be real. Come on now. Nothing's worse than the Ohio State University.
You ain't wrong.
This is a close second.
This
is a close second.
Which team won their conference championship conference playoff game today?
Not Ohio State.
Not Ohio State beat Purdue. Ohio State beat Purdue. Fuck you.
No. The Ohio State. The Ohio State. Not Ohio State. The Ohio State.
Why are you making your tongue look like that?
You gotta put emphasis on it. You gotta put that Ohio emphasis.
The.
But is that not not the most ridiculous thing ever?
I thought it was gonna be like endorsed by Trojan condoms here for a minute. I was like,
should have been
Michigan State.
That would have been condoms. That would. Everybody's lining up to buy that jersey. Can I have the no, not that MSU crap. Can I have the not the one that just says Spartans? No. You gotta go to the back of the shelf. I need the Michigan State University Spartans presented by Rocket Mortgage, please.
You know what's worse than
it's gonna be like right down the chest.
You guys know
I just want it to be like I want it to be in like a circle, like all the way around. Like
just like on something like this, just like all the way like down to here.
Yeah.
Just with a big Rocket Mortgage logo.
That's so
stupid.
My
God.
Like, it's a school. Why would you be advertising home mortgages for people?
I don't know.
Loans.
I just don't know why and where that money is going. Because in most teams, they're like, oh, hey, I need help paying our players. You know, okay, great. I get it. We're in the middle of a pandemic. You might be struggling a little bit. For a college university, they're not getting paid.
They're going to pay them.
Guys, I need a deep breath. I need some refocus, and actually I would like us all to bow our heads, take a moment of silence. This is we are officially in the NFL massacre week. So let's take a moment for all those players' contracts lost. And,
it's a bloodbath out here.
It is a absolute bloodbath. So as a lot of you know, we are in a global pandemic. It has been over a year now officially, and I don't know, Todd. I don't know where you've just been lucky to work from home, I guess. Yeah, you've just been working from home. Luckily, it's perfect. It worked out for you.
I've never seen you outside of that office.
Well, seeing as you've only ever seen him on this video,
my parking for my office in Indy that I used to be at is right next to the Marriott, so I could have been doing all the March Madness stuff. But now I'm not because I work from home.
Damn COVID. So in the NFL, the new cap got officially set at $182 million, which, I mean, is a lot of money. Don't get me wrong, but it is $15 million less than last year. So that is a decrease for the first time. And don't quote me exactly, but I believe a decade. It's the first salary cap decrease in a decade. So what that means is teams officially obviously have less money to re-sign their own players, sign new players in free agency, and they have to get under that number somehow. So we're seeing a lot of guys that in other years, normal years, would not get cut. We're seeing not just one or two of them. I mean, we've talked about it last week. We let you guys know it's going to this is just the first two dominoes to fall. That when we talked about Kyle Van Noy, and we were like, here it goes. They're all coming. It's not going to stop. This is the very beginning, not the end. So yeah, everybody's got to get under that salary cap number. So teams are able to use the leftover money from last season towards this year's cap. So that's part of why the teams like the Colts actually still have some money to spend. Chris Ballard is definitely sitting back, watching this happen. I think he's salivating at all the opportunities that he's going to have to actually add some guys on great team-friendly contracts, if you will. So if we look ahead to some notable cap casualties already, John Brown, former wide receiver of the Buffalo Bills. He has already put a statement out that was very interesting, specifically for Indianapolis and Pittsburgh fans, as he listed those two teams as his preferred destinations in free agency. Specifically, when he talked about the Colts, what was nice is if you listen to that whole little tidbit, if you will, he said that he really liked what Indy did, especially the way they used T.Y. Hilton. And he was like, man, this is an up and coming team. They're going to be a problem for the foreseeable future in the next few years. Because he was there in Buffalo, and the Colts played them in the playoffs, and he said that they gave him their tough team. He really liked what they were doing, so that'll be interesting. Down the list, both Chiefs starting tackles on their offensive line, Eric Fisher and Mitchell Schwartz, got cut. So they just lost the Super Bowl. The reason they lost the Super Bowl is because their offensive line was hurt and couldn't be there. So to remedy that situation, I think they're just going to play no offensive line, and you're just going to have Pat Mahomes dodge everybody and try to throw it to one of his 8 receivers that he's got out there, because he's not going to have anybody to protect him this year. Malcolm Jenkins from the Saints, Kenny Golladay from the Lions, Hunter Henry from the Chargers, Aaron Jones from the Packers, Corey Lindsey from the Packers, Winston from the Saints, Juju from the Steelers, Will Fuller from the Texans, Patrick Peterson from the Cardinals, Riley Reif from the Vikings. All of those names got cut. Now, there are some players on that list that have a good chance to re-sign with their original team if they, go and explore free agency, or they're just restructuring a contract. We actually have seen one such situation in Arizona. Robert Alford got cut a few days ago, and he just restructured a 1-year deal to come back to Arizona. So I feel like that may be something a lot of as well. But, if we look at the top 5 teams with the most cap space this year, at the top of the list is the Jags with $74 million. The Colts are right behind them with $72.9. The Jets have $70. The Patriots have $58.9 million, and the Bengals have $44 million. Teams with these cap space, they're going to have to make some moves to even add a player or two. The Saints at negative $40 million. Rams at negative $31. Eagles at negative $28. Falcons at negative $22. Chiefs at negative $20 million. Now that was before they cut their 2 starting tackles. So that saved, I think it was like $11 million is what that move, those 2 moves combined saved them. So, if you look at that list of the top 5 teams, the most cap space, let's be honest, the Colts are probably the most appealing team out of that list. You're looking at the Jags, the Jets, the Patriots, and the Bengals outside of that. Now the Bengals are probably, also pretty interesting. You got Joe Burrow hopefully coming back from his ACL injury and going into a second year strong and solid there. But outside of that, I mean, you've got bottom of the league teams. It's, unless you got guys that are just chasing money, I don't think the Jags, Jets, or Patriots really are pulling a lot of top tier free agents. So obviously we're going to see a lot of things happen here in the next couple of weeks. The ball's rolling. There's going to be a lot of players on 1-year kind of rental deals, veterans signing for near nothing, or, you're not going to see a huge contract come this year. But what moves are we kind of wanting to see happen as this thing plays out? And if it's me, there's a handful of things I want to see. First off, I'm just sitting back here smiling, and I'm just thinking in my head of all the moves that Chris Ballard is going to have an opportunity to make, and what he ends up ultimately doing is going to be amazing. Because listen, he's about to clean up with guys that are getting cut around the league, and that he's going to be able to sign on cheap deals. You got to think he's in such a good position, not only with the cap space that he has and the talent and the ability that he has in himself to attract the right kind of guys to keep this team get better and better and better. But you got to look at this team already as I would say a 90% finished roster. Like, that's so appealing for a free agent, regardless of the money. I would say more often than not, a guy wants to go to a team that's a competent team or a competitive team and has a shot at going deep in the playoffs. And man, that's exactly where the Colts are. They are solidly in the AFC playoff picture. I mean, 39, I keep saying it, but 39-year-old Phillip Rivers, who couldn't move, couldn't throw the ball down the field like you could in the prime, led that team to an 11-5 record. And there was a lot of rookies that stepped up and played big that are projected to, only get bigger and better and faster and stronger. And so if 40-year-old Phillip Rivers can lead that team to an 11-5 record, should have beat Buffalo in the opening round of the playoffs, who's to say a Carson Wentz can't continue to lead that team to a strong record, and some pieces come in? And why can't they put together a 12-13 win season and go for one of the top seeds in the AFC? So Bowers going to make some moves. The only thing really he's got to be careful for is making sure that obviously the right moves and the right number of moves. He doesn't need to overspend this year just because he can. Now, am I worried about that? No, he never overspends. He won't overspend a penny. Might as well start calling him Mr. Krabs. That dude is such a great penny pincher. Man, he's just so smart in the head when it comes to this stuff. If I'm talking specifics, I want to see the Colts steal at least one, if not both, of these offensive weapons from one of their divisional rivals, the Tennessee Titans. And I'm looking at wide receiver Corey Davis, who caught 65 balls last year for near 1,000 yards. He got 984 yards and 5 touchdowns, and he's only 26 years old. He would be a great fit here in Indy. And obviously you have that added addition of taking him away from a division rival. I'm also looking at, sorry if I butcher his first name, tight end Jonnu Smith, who has topped 400 receiving yards each of his last 2 seasons. He caught 8 touchdowns last year. And for what it's worth, he had 25 catches last year that went for first downs. So clearly he's a great security blanket, moving the chains, and a red zone threat with 8 touchdowns. The other name I keep seeing pop up is Bengals edge rusher Carl Lawson, who would be a, quote, perfect scheme fit in Indy. He was PFF's 14th best graded edge overall player last year, and he actually had the 8th best at that position, 8th best edge rushing, pass rushing grade. So he is a great pass rusher on that edge. Imagine pairing him, a guy like that, with DeForest Buckner and Grover Stewart right there in the middle. That D-line just goes from great and elite to, super elite status right there with that move. So the Colts are in a good position. I think they're going to make some moves. I cannot wait to see what they do.
So I talked before when Carson Wentz was traded to Indianapolis that he really likes bigger receivers, wider catch radiuses, and I feel like we only had 1, maybe 2 guys who actually fit that bill on the team. And all of a sudden, there's a lot of good wide receiver talent that's available. And I'm really looking at a guy like Kenny Golladay, who Detroit just said, go, shoo, and let him go. Didn't franchise tag him, which was mind-blowing. And Juju Smith-Schuster, the TikTok star, it's the only thing people know him for is that, and he killed Samuel L. Jackson in that Verizon commercial.
That's true.
I don't know if y'all remember that. But
that's a good one.
But I would like one of those guys on the Colts. Juju, I would love seeing players with a little bit more personality playing in Indianapolis. I feel like Indianapolis doesn't get a whole lot of limelight. I feel like a guy with that kind of social media attention might also help pull other free agents into Indianapolis, because it's going to get more attention to this beautiful city. All we have right now putting attention to the city is Pat McAfee, and he's out here blowing interviews with Jordan Poyer because he can't stop watching the West Virginia basketball game.
Can't blame him, man.
They got robbed, Pat. If you're watching this somehow, some way, they got robbed.
And what are you talking about? The Colts don't have a social media presence. They got Blue, man. He's all over the place. He's getting it done.
My apologies.
The Colts have the worst TikTok staff on the planet. I'm going to point that out.
That is very true.
It's the Colts main page, Blue, and then Kenny Moore for some reason. It's always those three commenting on each other's pages.
What's wrong with Kenny Moore?
He overdoes it.
Kenny Moore.
Mike, he overdoes it. You know, we have better players that do TikTok by themselves. That's like, yeah, he just overdoes it.
You know what? I'll be right back. Y'all keep going. I can't listen to this slander.
He hasn't seen the TikTok, so he doesn't know. You don't know, Chris. You don't cook eggs on Lombardi trophies.
Hey, don't tell Scotty. Scotty doesn't know.
Scotty doesn't know. Thank you, Matt.
Copyright strike. But I feel like if they bring back T.Y. Hilton, you add a guy like Galladay or Juju, or heck, both on 1-year rentals. Why not? And you have it's just with Michael Pittman Jr. there too. This wide receiver core for Indianapolis, especially this year, where guys are going to be looking for 1-year prove-it deals to try and get paid next year when the cap goes up. And by the way, the cap is projected to hit $250 million in the next 5 years. So they're projecting a full rebound, and it's going to be a lot of people getting paid very, very quickly.
So players then, damn.
Yeah, we need to start locking people down early, and I think that's why we're seeing Ballard be a little more frugal. Because he knows he has to pay Darius Leonard. He knows he might have to pay Carson Wentz. He's going to have to pay Jonathan Taylor, and Julian Blackmon. You got to make Rodrigo Blankenship the highest kicker in the league and highest paid kicker in the league. And I will fight until that happens for you, Goggles. But
you understand that you left off literally the first ballot unanimous Hall of Famer Quentin Nelson already, right? Like he's going to have to pay him too.
Oh, did Q not get paid yet?
No.
Oh shit!
They just picked up his 5th-year option.
So that's $70 million in cap space in the next 2 years. Gone.
Yeah.
What did you get?
Had to go get my peach jelly drink. Shout out Jungle Gyms. I can figure out how to open this thing. There we go.
Peach jelly?
You heard me?
It's not like peach butter. Peach butter or spicy honey. You know, those are things exist.
Yeah.
Peach jelly drink.
Peach jelly drink. GG.
Yeah, that sounds fire, not gonna lie.
This is something you would find in Ollie's bargain bin, I'm assuming. Just underneath all the clothing and the
dude.
Feed.
Jungle Gyms.
Jungle Gyms, bro.
Road trip to Jungle Gyms?
Only for the ostrich egg. Let's get it.
Oh my God, Tade, you have so many problems. All right, Tade, just tell me your free agent list already.
All right. I just want to say, how have the Saints not cut Taysom yet?
QB the future.
Cut him. Who are they gonna? Yeah. Oh, you and Jameis Winston, man.
Jameis Winston's 10 times better than him. We're
gonna eat this W. Oh, we're gonna eat this W. The man made Sean Jackson want to retire.
Over him? Doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me, folks. I don't know what the Saints are doing. That would save them $16 million. That's a lot of money they need. So I don't get it. Well,
that's pretty good. So
what I'm thinking is fire sale. Zombies in here. But no. If I'm thinking about everything that is available to teams with large cap space, I'm thinking, do I want a 1-year or cheap rental off some injured guy that was just cut? Or would I want draft capital from this year for a heavy O-line draft? I think teams should avoid picking up linemen who are injured, like Kansas City's linemen. People should stay away from that. People should stay away from receivers. Also, you can pick those up in the draft. I'm thinking the time right now is to go for all the defensive players being cut. Corners, safeties, defensive linemen. Those are 1-year rentals that will put in the work. They're workhorses. And I'm thinking Colts should do that as well.
I mean, that obviously worked with bringing in Xavier Rhodes this past year for Indy. So
who we're letting test the market right now, which is great for us because we'll get the deal. We're letting all these players we have test the market and see what they get. Sure. Do you want like a Will Fuller, a Juju Smith, a Kyle Rudolph?
Yes.
Yeah, you do. Of course. Can Ballard pick those up in the draft? Yeah. Easily for him. Will other teams want them? Sure. The Jaguars would love them all. You know, Urban Meyer's over there, king of ethics. He's got this. He'll pick up the best players. Just kidding. Sorry, Jaguar fans. I didn't mean it.
King of ethics. This man actually.
I think teams like the Lions, Patriots will pick up all these one-year rentals just to try to turn around their teams. The Patriots especially.
Well, the Patriots already got a Trent Brown.
They did make that move, and obviously they re-signed Cam Newton, which we will talk about.
Yeah.
So put a pin in that. Okay, guys. I'm super excited about this part. This has been like a week-long off the air discussion that we have had. So I purposely even have it in our notes that I didn't want to write any notes because I wanted this to be our one time, like, so I love what we do on this podcast, and I love that we give each other the platform. We each kind of say our notes and agree, disagree, whatever we talk. I think this is the time when, like, WWE style, like the cage is coming down, all the rules are out. Like, this is no holds barred. We're going in. So, all right, what set this off is Dak Prescott just got paid. He just got paid. That man just signed a 4-year, count them up, 4 years for $160 million. Simple math tells you that's $40 million a year, which is exactly what he was asking for last year. And not only did he get 160 in this contract, 128 of those 168 million are guaranteed, which is a new record, I believe, for guaranteed money in a contract in the NFL. It's insane. It's crazy. It's especially, signing that this year when we're talking about the salary cap going down, teams are cutting great guys because they just don't have the money for it. Dallas says that's fun. We're just going to flip right around and we're just going to go the other direction and see what happens. So that news obviously breaks. We get in our group chat talking about it. And then this whole kind of long back and forth kind of evolves. And we had to put a pin in it and say, let's get this on video. Let's get this on podcast. This is great stuff. So we're talking about Dak Prescott and Carson Wentz. Kind of, I guess the simplest of terms, calling it Dak Prescott versus Carson Wentz. Who do you want? And I'm going to set us off. I'm going to start it off. Look, here's the deal. First and foremost, two things before this gets started. One, congratulations to Dak and his team and his agent. Man got paid. Absolutely. I am 100%, 120% always on the side of players getting their money. That's what they're there for. That's fantastic. As long as they're not forcing a team to overpay for them, like, man, they're getting what they're worth, and it's not their fault they're worth so much. Like, that's all great. Go get your money. Go get it. Go get your bread, get your chickens, get them all online. I don't care. Get that stuff. Two, these are both good, not elite quarterbacks as of late, in my opinion. Both have had stellar years earlier in their careers, and they've dipped a bit recently, and they've got some injury history now, both of them. So I just want to set that up, like those two off, and we're going to go in on this. We're going to go in on Dak versus Carson Wentz. It'll probably allude itself to a lot of like who would be better on the Colts, because that's where our hearts lies with the horseshoe with the Colts. So look, in my opinion, the deal is Dak Prescott, as much as he might look like and maybe even be, a slight step above Carson Wentz, the matter of fact is he is not worth, for the Colts, it's not worth paying twice as much as what you're paying for Carson Wentz. You're not getting twice the quarterback, and you don't need that level of quarterback in Indy, Tade, to win. They proved that last year. This team is so good. Ballard has done such a good job of putting a roster together that wins football games. that isn't reliant on the quarterback. Colts fans in general have to get out of this mindset of Peyton Manning, Andrew Luck, where we're just trusting these guys to throw for 400 yards and 3 touchdowns a game to pull us back from the brinks of death to steal wins. Nah, this is a football team that's going to hit you in the mouth, wins in trenches, wins by running the damn ball. And yeah, we'll probably have a quarterback who just shouldn't turn the ball over that much. That'd be great. So, all right, guys, jump on in. We're ready to go. It's Dak versus Carson. What do we got?
Go ahead, Tade. Go ahead.
Yeah, Tade, get us rolling.
So then I get it. Then you guys attack me after I'm done. You know what?
Yes,
I'm the hot take guy here.
Yes.
I will be fine with being the hot take man for this one. I do not understand why you would pick Carson Wentz over Dak Prescott. If we look at the teams last year, okay, they were both shit. They are both horrible. Here's the difference. Did Dak play last year?
Played like 4 games.
Exactly.
5 games.
How many did Carson Wentz play over in Philly? More than 4.
Twice that?
Yeah.
8 or 9,
and
10 maybe?
Their records were oddly similar. If Dak Prescott was with the Cowboys last year for the entire year under a new coach, Mike McCarthy, an average coach, because Aaron Rodgers dragged him. We all agree on that.
Deep breath there, Chris. Yeah, I agree with Tade on that one.
It's a great stretch. It's a great stretch to call him average. I got you.
Yeah,
average. Fine. Slightly below average.
It's less of a stretch. You're telling me now all of a sudden you're trying to tell me that Mike McCarthy makes the difference if Dak is there all year? Come on, man. How does it feel grasping at those straws?
It's not straws. I'm grasping at. You know what I'm grasping at? Wins, W's. Not Jameis Winston eating them. Look, if you put Dak Prescott on the Eagles, they win more games. If you put Carson Wentz on the Cowboys, they're the same with Andy Dalton. They're trash.
No.
Oh my God.
No.
So now you're trying to tell me that you're trying to tell me that Wentz is the same as 30-something-year-old Andy Dalton?
Andy Dalton is the most average QB of all time. You know what Carson Wentz is right now? Below average. The man is broken. Call up Jamarcus Russell. At least Carson Wentz will watch the tape.
Wow. Okay, so hold on. I'm gonna stop you right there.
Go ahead. Stop me.
Dak Prescott has had the luxury of having a top 10 wide receiver his entire career between Dez Bryant and Amari Cooper.
Yep.
He's also had a top 5 running back in Ezekiel Elliott from The Ohio State University. And he has had a top 3 offensive line his entire career. You put Dak Prescott on the Eagles, he gets murdered. He doesn't make it to that contract at all. He's dead. Gone. You put Carson Wentz.
He's not in the ground.
Have you seen Philly's offensive line outside of one man? Have you seen that? It is terrifying. I would not want to be there playing football. Now, you put Carson Wentz on the Cowboys with a better offensive line, with more talent. He probably gets, I don't want to say to the chip, but especially after that near MVP season, I think he gets pretty close. Now, we have to take out one person. The Clapper, Jason Garrett from those years. But
you want to talk Cowboys? You want to talk average coach? That is the definition of an average coach. Right there. Dude finished 8-8 for the last 4 years he was there. Average. That's 500. Literally towed that line.
Hey, good
Insane.
Job. Good job. But the only thing the Cowboys haven't really had is a stellar defense, and I agree that Dak Prescott should have had more wins than he already has. I'm glad he got paid because he has been severely underpaid his entire career, up until he's started getting franchise tagged. But dude was making $650K a year.
Yeah,
and he he helped push that team into actual contention, something they haven't really been in since Romo was healthy, ever since that first collarbone break.
Yep.
So. It's just,
it's another case in my opinion too. It's another case of like, just because I'm valuing a guy at this level doesn't mean I'm saying this guy is trash. They can both be really good, Tade. Like they can both fit that same mold. And like, and I actually like am impressed with Dak's career even to this point, because as Michael mentioned, he was getting paid so little, and you wonder why. Well, how is a guy with that much talent getting paid so little? He was a 4th round pick. And how do you become a 4th round pick? Every single team in the league has to pass on you at least 3 times. So, I mean, he has definitely outplayed his expectations from his draft. And I mean, getting paid, like I said, I'm always rooting for players to get paid. The deal is,
don't listen to the words that are coming out of these men's mouth. I'm going to mute them. It's all fine.
Oh
first off, I want to point out the Eagles had the 19th best offensive line last year, according to Pro Football Focus. The Cowboys had the 27th because everyone was injured. So
right, last year you're looking at 1 year.
Because it's the most recent year.
We were talking,
of course, but I'm talking
more broad spectrum.
Because yes, the last year Carson Wentz with that 19th best offensive line, objectively, statistically, had the worst. Like, he was the worst quarterback in the league last year. I get it, I really do. But there's so many more factors to it than just blanket stating that and moving on from saying like, well, that's what he is, because that's not what he is. If you want to look at one season, go look at his near MVP season.
You are smothering the words of the greatest QB to ever grace the Cowboys franchise right now. The golden god who replaced the man who dated Jessica Simpson, Tony Romo.
So
I find these words
Troy Aikman came out of retirement?
Heinous. These are crimes not only against humanity, but against the Galactic Republic of the universe, of the Milky Way. Ladies and gentlemen, gosh. I will repeat this. I would rather put Dak Prescott on the Colts with his current contract that he just got from Jerry Jones. That's an overpay. Than Carson Wentz for 2 years.
Are you so you would rather
Ladies and gentlemen,
why?
No, so QBs have to win Super Bowls.
Right, but if you pay your quarterback all of your salary cap, guess what's going to happen? You're not going to be able to your window is going to shut so damn fast. So you're literally banking. If that's the case, you're banking on the Colts winning it all this year or next year. You're really banking on the Colts with Dak winning in the next 2 years the entire thing. They're going to go through Mahomes, Josh Allen, and like Aaron Rodgers or whoever comes out of the NFC.
Chris Ballard can just draft replacements. You have to trust the binder, Chris. We don't need to pay these people. We don't need extensions. What are you talking about?
So we can
just draft them. We don't need Michael. We don't need them. We can draft them. All our best players. We don't need. We were first rounders out there. They were going ham. We don't need old men. We need young men.
Oh, whoa, phrasing.
Phrasing still?
Phrasing.
But look, here's my parameter.
Here's Skip Bayless here. I will not let you talk to me like this, Shannon Sharp. You will not get a box of cigars. You will get me my Mountain Dew. We are not going to let this happen here. I will not let you mother my boy Dak Prescott. I am.
You know what? No, Bayless. I got this ring right here, man. I got this ring right here for a reason. All right.
Hold up. Really quick, since you brought it up, shout out Skip Bayless, getting paid $32 million.
Get your money, man. Get your money.
$32 million.
Get your money.
He's getting, and guess what? He's getting paid more than Carson Wentz. You want him to play quarterback too?
So here's the other thing. Everybody talks about the money that Wentz got. Look, Jacoby Brissett and Phillip Rivers combined cost more than what Wentz is going to cost. So if the Colts were willing to put their faith in both of those QBs, what's the problem with putting their faith in Wentz? That's like, and you still have Eason. You still have Eason as a backup who has not had a professional snap yet, coming into his second year now. You don't know. The thing is the reason. And listen, I was, as you two both well know, before the Wentz trade was announced, I was sitting here basically all season saying anybody but Wentz. I don't want him. I know it's Frank Reich's boy. I don't want him, and I'm good. Really anybody else. Now, not anybody, because Tade's out here with Jameis Winston, and he's go get Ryan Fitzpatrick, which at this point would be fun.
Let's get him, boys. Give up the draft.
I mean, dude, if it was out there, I'm pretty sure
we're gonna cancel a trade with Carson Wentz.
Yeah, I was like pretty sure Ballard would call up Philly and be like, "Hey, thanks.
Carson Wentz is garbage.
Appreciate you."
What?
Yeah, 100%. But here's the deal. The great thing that Ballard did is he didn't mortgage the future of this organization to go and get a QB. Right? We can all agree on that. He did a great job not overpaying for Wentz, because if Wentz works out, then all is good. But even if Wentz doesn't work out, we can get out after 2 years. We didn't give up that much draft capital. In fact, Ballard's going to make probably most of that draft capital that he gave up back when he trades down out of the first round this year and picks up an additional second or third or whatever he's going to get in that. So we're almost going to get Carson Wentz for just his contract at that point. And guess what? That's a good thing to get for a chance to finally, like, do you guys realize the Colts have started a new quarterback for the last 5 years? Like week 1, it's been 5 different quarterbacks for the last 5 years with Frank Reich. Like Frank Reich has never had a multi-year starter.
Next year.
Frank Reich has never had a multi-year starter. So give him a chance to get a guy that has a chance at being here for a few years. And listen, with the way with the way free agency was looking, what realistic, legitimate options were out there that were much better than Carson Wentz that are a sure thing. If you draft a guy, here's the deal too, because if you trade all your draft capital and move up to the top 5 in the draft to go get Justin Fields or whoever's there that's not Trevor Lawrence going 1, if they don't work out, you are screwed. You've got nothing. It's tough to bounce back from that one. What they did is not that tough to bounce back from, especially with Ballard being so smart with this cap space anyway. The money's not a big hit. The draft capital is not a big hit. And the ceiling is really high. So I fell in love with the Wentz deal when it came down, even though I didn't want him at first. If Wright kind of tap into what Wentz was, even to some degree, I mean, this team is going to be really good. My big question when we're talking about this,
over $30 million whenever win a Super Bowl with their teams.
Yeah.
So the Green Bay Packers will win another Super Bowl.
Green Bay
you
is
see
paid,
that, Michael? I got him.
Green Bay has paid Aaron Rodgers. I mean, Green Bay has paid Aaron Rodgers top dollar, and yeah, he brought them 1 Super Bowl, and that was fantastic. Don't get me wrong. I've got it on DVD right over there. I literally almost in arm's reach. But yeah, he's got 1 Super Bowl because they haven't put enough around him to alleviate some. They've forced him, instead of building a roster around him, they have forced him to just be the magician and pull wins out of his ass week in and week out. And he can't do it for 20 weeks to win him a Super Bowl. It's just not that easy. Can't be done.
We could draft. We draft well.
Of course we do.
But we can pay the money to Dak if we did that.
But
Dak
I'm saying because I'm saying if you even though you draft well, if you take that one big risk in the draft and go and try to get a quarterback that way, or you take that one big risk in free agency and pay Dak his money and he doesn't work out, then all of a sudden you've put all your chips in the middle of the table and then you have nothing. Whereas Ballard has held his cards to his chest, taken a little risk here and there when he feels it's necessary, and has still put out quality product year in and year out. And now you have a chance. Like I said, here's the parameter. Here's the parameter. Phillip Rivers led this team last year to an 11-5 record. How many wins do we think, realistically, how many wins do you think Carson Wentz can lead that same team if he gets back to somewhat of a decent form? I'm not even saying MVP. If it's somewhere in the middle of his MVP, almost MVP season and the worst quarterback in the league that he was last year, but somewhere in the middle there, how many wins do you think this team realistically can get?
Max 10.
12-3-1. 12-3-1.
Why do you see a 1-game loss from Phillip Rivers year with Jonathan Taylor coming into his second year, Michael Pittman going forward?
Multiple games we were scoreless for a lot of quarters or halves coming back afterwards.
Yeah. Because
our offense got stagnant because they just weren't that good. It could have been because coronavirus.
Because Phillip Rivers can't.
But it's his offense that he knows.
That he hasn't played in years.
True. But he's old. He knows how it works. He's got
That's
that
not
training.
how it works.
I think it is.
But
you remember these things?
Okay, and then let me ask you this. If you take, again, here's the parameter, Phillip Rivers, 11-5 regular season, and you add Dak Prescott to that team, how many wins do you think Dak Prescott gives?
8-8.
Same record.
Timeout. Dak's not taking this 11-5 win team to 3 wins less than Phillip Rivers. Come on now.
It's just what he's used to.
He wouldn't be on the Cowboys, Michael. He wouldn't be on the Cowboys.
He doesn't have the clapper.
No, obviously. obviously a joke. I realistically see them being a 10-6 team.
You hate the Cowboys.
Everyone hates the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Everyone hates the Cowboys. But that's beside the point, because I respect some players on that organization. Dak Prescott deserves to get paid. I think a lot of this contract is more back pay than anything, because he's been severely underpaid the majority of his career. But I just don't see Dak Prescott being better right now than Carson Wentz if they're both 100% healthy and they're both playing at their peak form. I just don't see, same quarterback, same team. I don't see that. I don't see him doing better. And it's not because I think he's less talented. I just think that Carson Wentz is a little bit more than, just has a little bit extra, especially like that gunslinger mentality that Indiana's been kind of missing since Peyton Manning, since Andrew Luck, versus Dak Prescott's a little bit more analytical. He takes the sure things, the safe routes, he dumps the ball off a lot. It's just that little bit more underneath than I'm going to throw it out there and somehow, some way, it's going to get there. I don't care if I get my shit rocked. And that's that kind of mentality that I know Darius Leonard was looking for. Put the team above yourself and go out and make a damn play.
You just described Jameis Winston.
Oh, no. God.
So we're getting Jameis Winston. Are we going to sign him? He's our backup. Yes.
He will start. He will get 30 interceptions. Hell yeah.
Here's Jameis Winston.
So here's the thing. Here's the reason I asked those questions about where Phillip Rivers was. How many wins do you think Carson and Dak would get? I tried to let both of you know and let you guys both see for yourselves, which you didn't. So pay attention. That basically you're going to get the same results because the Colts roster as a whole is so good. The quarterback play can vary a few of the games, but at through 16 through the whole grind, you're probably going to find themselves. Let's be realistic. I'm serious. The Colts with Carson Wentz next year are going to probably win 11, 12, 13 games max. They're going to go in that 10 to 12 range realistically is where I see them, which is that range that Phillip Rivers just took them to. And Frank Reich, as much as the play calling got stagnant, the offense got stagnant a lot during last season. I think Frank Reich still deserves a lot of credit, and that offense deserves credit for kind of not necessarily turning around Phillip Rivers' career, because they didn't do that, but they definitely helped him not be so much of a gunslinger and turn the ball over more. I mean, I know he was rusty when the season started, but he ended up one of the more accurate passers in the league. He upped his completion percentage from his last year in LA. I almost said San Diego, but in LA with the Chargers, all of his numbers, he cut down on the turnovers, the completion rate went up, and a lot of credit to Frank Reich and that offensive staff for tapping into that. And there's no reason to believe that they can't do the same thing with Carson Wentz, especially with a guy like Frank Reich, who is very familiar with Wentz and has obviously had a couple of good years with him. And if Wentz here's the thing too, if Wentz buys in, that's huge, because Wentz clearly didn't buy in to Doug Peterson last year. And that was part of, I think, the issue in Philly, is he just didn't buy into the system for whatever reason, and he had lost the locker room. So, and Frank Reich is not going to let Carson Wentz, no one in that locker room is going to let Carson Wentz think he's the guy and bigger than the team. That's the character of this team is all for one, not one for all. It's everybody together. Nobody is more important than the guy next to you.
No, the GM's the most important. That's what Ryan Grigson taught us, guys.
God, don't mention that
name.
Don't
you know that?
No.
So
the punter isn't the best player on the team. Get it right, Pat McAfee.
So, I mean, it's a very interesting topic and a debate, and it's one of those that, there is no right answer until, the year plays out and we kind of can come back to it. And I'm sure in his heart of hearts, Tade hopes he's wrong, because he is a Colts fan. He would rather the Colts win and him be wrong than the Colts lose. So
no, I'm going to bet on the Colts to lose, and I'll win money, so I'll be happy. Of course.
So, and like we said, free agency is yet to begin, really. A lot of things are going to get rolling, especially for the Colts. They're going to be one of the more active teams in active talks with a lot of guys. we are going to keep moving along with some other NFL news. Guys, that was a lot of fun. We would definitely need to do some more unscripted stuff like that. That was a good time. But as we mentioned earlier, kind of teased it before the non-existent commercial break there, Cam Newton comes back to New England after what was politely worded a rough year in New England on a 1-year, near $14 million deal, which that's just crazy because he signed there last year on a 1-year deal for, I believe, less than $2 million. So I can't believe they paid him 7 times more than they paid him last year when he didn't perform that great. But he comes back. If they make some more moves and, with a lot of their defense coming back after opting out last season, does anybody believe the Patriots have enough to beat out the Bills in the division? I'll lead this off really quickly. Hell no, not a chance. The Bills finished last year with a 13-3 record, and the Patriots were 7-9 with Cam Newton as their quarterback. So thank God I got started on this early. I did some tough math, some big long calculations. Got my graphing calculator from college and high school back out. Found some batteries for it. Got into it. I've discovered that that's a 6-game difference in the win-loss record. No way in hell does bringing Cam back and even making some moves make up for a 6-game difference unless, barring injury in Buffalo and shelling that team, coming down 6 pegs, the gap is too big when you're talking those two teams. There's no way in hell that the Patriots win the Bills or even the Dolphins for that matter next year.
So obviously I'm going to say no. I don't see them winning the division. But to give Cam Newton and the Patriots in general just a little bit of credit, half the team opted out last year, and a lot of them were star players. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of hard to win games when your most talented players in your defensive side of the ball just aren't there. And who was he throwing to? He had nobody out there to actually play. He had to run it half the time to do anything to even keep themselves in games. Now, that being said, I don't think Cam is the answer. They paid him $14 million. Like, you couldn't have gotten him for less? You probably could have got Mitch Trubisky for less. Like, or Jameis Winston. Tade. But I think if they could add a couple of offensive pieces, they could contend for a wild card spot. At best, a wild card spot. There's no way in hell that they're going to beat the Buffalo Bills, even though they're having champagne problems right now. They're having to cut a lot of people and just to make some room. I just don't see that happening. Tade, what do you think, buddy?
I think we got to wait a little bit more into the offseason before we have a real answer to this question. It's the Patriots. People know they're winners. I think people wanting 1-year deals will go into a system where they play their role and they shine. They shine on TV. They won't shine under Bill Belichick's strict code of, hey, relax. Don't say anything crazy. But they'll shine on TV when people see them play. They'll shine on the film when they see them practice. I think a lot of players will look at the Patriots with their cap space and be like, hey, put me on the team. I want a 1-year deal, 2-year deal, something just to keep me by till we get big deals again. And I think if they sign a lot of players in the offseason that are good, receivers, some defensive players, maybe an offensive line for Cam, maybe, anything. And barring injuries from the Bills or regression from any of their players, it's possible to see them at least, contend with the Bills. We don't all see Miami coming back and being great this year. The Jets are the Jets. So, probably it's going to be Patriots, Bills in the top 2 positions in that, conference. Division. Well, my bad.
So with, obviously, we're just getting started on so these are way early predictions still in the what will be the 2021-2022 NFL season. But if we were talking about the Patriots, we got to talk about one ex-Patriot. It was announced earlier today that Tom Brady signed an extension with Tampa Bay that will keep him there. Shocker, I know. Through next season at least. He did put a nice Instagram post out, saying in pursuit of 8, LFG at Bucks. We're keeping the band together. So congrats to him, as much as I hate it. So as much as I hate it, yeah, good move by Tampa. Obviously, no reason not to want Brady back as long as he's willing to keep playing. So with Brady being extended, do we think they are going to get a shot at going back-to-back? Do we think they're going to make it all the way back to the Super Bowl? And I'm going to say no for 2 reasons. One, just being hopeful. I do not want to see them back in the Super Bowl. I don't want to see Brady go for 8. I feel like a child throwing a temper tantrum. I just don't wanna. Secondly, in all honesty, I just think the NFC is going to be really tough still this coming year. I'll start that off with, yes, I understand that, the NFC East is, the NFC East. And the NFC South should be a cakewalk without Breeze there and the Saints being that 13-win year in and year out team that they are. But with that being said, we already said last week the NFC West is going to be the toughest division in football. And they're going to have multiple playoff teams, and whichever 2 teams come from that division, I think could probably both beat the Bucks, whether you're looking at, Seattle and Arizona, LA and Seattle, LA and Arizona, whatever. I think those teams, San Francisco, obviously, if they get healthy, the last time they were healthy, they made it to the Super Bowl. So any of those teams, I think, healthy and full strength could probably handle the Bucks as currently constructed. Plus, the Packers are still the Packers, man. And I really think, especially if they get a shot in the playoffs at actually knocking Tampa Bay out again, man, they're going to get up for that game, and they're not going to let anything slide. They're going to be more than prepared for that game, for that revenge shot, and hopefully take care of business this time around. So, you're looking at multiple teams, I think, that could oust Tampa. And you just never know. Carolina could be stronger with McCaffrey coming back. There's a lot of NFC teams alone, I think, that are going to give Tampa some trouble this year, even just in their road through the NFC. And then obviously whoever they meet in the AFC, whether it's Mahomes, Josh Allen, the Colts, could match up very well and handle business again, as long as health isn't a concern. So no, I don't see them actually going back. Just because I think the NFC is going to be that tough this year.
See, I think if you bring back AB and Gronk, you give Tom Brady his boys, you get the gang fully back together, you're going to win the division. Regardless if Drew Brees comes back or not, they win the division. That should be cake. But they're at least going to make it to the NFC title game, regardless, because I hate saying this out loud, but it's Tom Brady and Bruce Arians' offense. That was a scary matchup from the beginning. Bruce Arians is a mastermind of an offensive coach. Shocker, he got Tom Brady to play his best football in years. But hey, Chris, can you refresh my memory? Where was my record in picks again?
You were 0-4.
No, then I'm going to say yes. I'm going to play the yes, they make it back to the Super Bowl. Woo!
Taking one for the team, I respect it. Taking one for the team, I respect it. Ade, what do you think?
So let me just put some stats up here for you for betting wise. So There are 4 teams slated. Well, we'll go with 3 teams that are slated to be NFL champions, the highest odds by Vegas. The Kansas City Chiefs at plus 250, 525. So if you bet $1, you'll get a payout of $6.25. So your profit's $5.25. So Kansas City are the favorites. Second are the Buccaneers at plus 850. Third, the Green Bay Packers at plus 1,100. If everything stays the same for the Buccaneers, I think their biggest trouble is probably the Rams in that conference, which, it's possible for the Rams to get all the way to the championship, but I'll go with Bruce Arians. I think the Patriots will go back to the, Super Bowl. I don't know if they're going to win it. If I say they aren't, they're going to win it. So I should bet on them right now, I guess. That'd be smart.
Could you bet on the Colts?
Did you just say a Patriots Buccaneers Super Bowl?
God, you didn't hear that. It's confusing.
All right, I'm out.
I would not even. I could not bring myself to watch that game. Like there would be no way I could bring myself to watch. No, I couldn't do it.
Bill Belichick versus Tom Brady, the final battle.
Boss fight music starts.
I would just want them both, whoever wins, I would just want them both to come out after the game and be like, we're retired. Like, this is it. We got to do this. We're done. I'm out.
Colts have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9th best odds.
That's right where I
Patriots have
right where I want to be.
19th best odds.
Yep.
Hey, hold up really quick. Just a point. Where are the Cowboys at?
Give me a second. Let me see where they're at.
And I keep scrolling.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Wow,
that's pretty
Dak
high,
Prescott,
actually.
huh?
I'm so sorry they had to pay for a trash running back like Ezekiel Elliott.
Hey, don't worry. Because if Dak Prescott doesn't work out, Chris, if you don't mind me taking over really quick for this one, Trey Lance had his pro day today. And because I know one of you guys, I mean, until it's like the week of the draft is when I think y'all just kind of bust out. But for me, I love watching these pro days, especially the way they're doing them this year. There's a lot more focus on these virtual like combines and all this weird stuff. So Trey Lance threw some absolute freaking dimes. Now, there are some instances where he kind of struggled. Some balls kind of sailed. No big deal. Just kind of showing off that arm strength that he has and why I think that Mac Jones is not even in the top 5 of quarterbacks. We'll get to that later. So the big thing that I saw was that I wanted to see was accuracy in the red zone, especially in like contested throws. I saw a guy run a slant route and he ripped it in there to the guy. It kind of pulled him back when he caught it. Like you could see his arms kind of like flail back a little bit. It was ripped in there. The camera guy couldn't even keep up with it. And the big test they always do at the combine is, can you throw an NFL out? And dots, toe tapping on the sideline. They were great throws. And I think he might have just bumped himself up. I had him in the second round. I had him going early. He's probably going to get bumped up into a late first round pick after a performance like this, especially if they actually, I don't know if they're doing one-on-one like interviews or visits with teams, but if they do and they go well, I mean, like in person, going out and like having the team kind of running through their drills, I see Trey Lance moving up, another small school guy getting picked in the first round, which I always love to see, especially over a guy who had a wide receiver carry him his entire college career than Mac Jones. Anyway, Todd A, I know this is your moment.
Oh,
it's your time, buddy. It's betting time.
This is what the viewers come to see.
And trash, ladies and gentlemen, as we come to a close today. We're coming on time here for the end of the podcast, so it's my time to talk. Again, I won't bore you with any details about Dak Prescott. We won't do any betting like that or anything. Let's go for our MASH picks for this week. Let's go with the NHL. I've been seeing some good betting trends with the NHL with underdogs, but you know what? I'm going to find a couple picks for you to pick that are over. So some overdogs, overcooked. So we'll pick some Saturday games here for you, some late night Saturday games. First game, let's go with the Penguins over the Sabres, because the Sabres are hot garbage. So that's an easy one, really, to pick from. Next, we have a good game between the Predators and the Lightning. Let's go with the Lightning on this one. Another good over. Lastly, you know what? Let's hop over to Canada over here, eh? Let's go with the Maple Leafs over the Jets. Parlay those three together, and let's see some winnings. All right, here. Now time for the cash. Michael might like this one. for some UFC fights this weekend.
I do.
Mm-hmm. And we're still going to go over, everybody, what wins in UFC 66% of the time? The favored fighter. That's right. Woo! We're going to go with Edwards over Muhammad in UFC. Now,
don't sleep on Muhammad though, because that man's an up and comer. Edwards is a great fighter though. Like that's not a bad bet.
You hear it right here from Michael. He just said he rooted for the other guy, so it's a lock, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh shit! I just played myself. I'm
betting on it right now for us. Don't worry.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Now, last week I mentioned how the All-Star game was, it was a dumb thing to bet on because you already know what's going to win. Overs and then Team LeBron. So it'd be dumb to even think about, who's going to win this. You already know who's going to win. Just bet on it immediately. And you know what? I won a lot of money on All-Star Weekend. I'll give you guys that. So thank you. Thank me. Just going to get a mirror. Thank you, Tade. For our trash bets, we're going to go to college basketball here. We're just going to talk about the tournaments currently going on for seeding and then the March Madness. Don't believe in overrated teams. As we saw on Friday here, Butler, garbage. Purdue, garbage. Hyped up teams that you think, these underdogs are going to win. No. As we were talking about before, Ball State lost in overtime.
Yeah, that's Toledo. Damn. Hey, if we're talking mascots, though, Butler's at the top of the list, okay? Butler Blue the fourth. Buddy. Shout out Butler Blue the fourth. You're keeping it real.
As he sips on his little Capri Sun. I'm sorry, peach jelly drink.
Yeah, peach jelly.
We sponsor us. I won't try that.
That's not a sponsor, ladies and gentlemen. We're so sorry for that. DraftKings is our sponsor, obviously. Just kidding. I wish.
Whoa.
DraftKings sponsor, please.
Hey, great.
Money.
That jelly juice is not going to now sponsor us. This is unfortunate. But no. Overrated college basketball teams. Don't trust them. College basketball is a fight always, but then it's a lie to you because typically the favorite team's going to win. It's tricky. And that was the Mash Cash Trash of the week. Chris, take it away and it's over.
Love it. So as y'all know by now, like I said, we're a month into this thing and we're going to keep it rolling. We always end our shows with our looking ahead to our new picks of the week. As I mentioned earlier, our records, I am 2-2, Michael's 0-4. Tade is 2-1-1 leading the pack. So this time I am going with not one, but both of my favorite NBA teams. They have a late night primetime matchup, if you will, Saturday night. The Pacers taking on the Suns in Phoenix. I was thinking about doing this game anyway, and then earlier today, as I mentioned when we talked about him, the news came out that Karis LeVert, that's going to be his Pacers debut in Phoenix. So because of that, I had to throw it in here. Karis LeVert had successful surgery on his kidneys, on a lump that was found, or a mass in his kidney that was found when the trade was announced, coming to Indy. They did the physical, found it, all that good stuff. So this will be his first Pacers game, first time back on the court. I'm sure he's got all kinds of emotions flooding through him already. He's nervous, excited, everything I can't even imagine. Pacers excited to add a natural bucket getter, which is something they definitely have missed since TJ Warren has been out. And I just think he's going to be a shot in the arm for this team and just kind of wake them back up, kind of get them out of this funk, that we talked about where they've lost, I think it's 5 of their last 6. And they struggled in their one win to beat Cleveland. So I just think they need to wake up, and this is the way to do it. And you know what? I'm going to risk it for the biscuit, guys. I'm taking the Pacers over the Suns. Yep, those Phoenix Suns that I keep hyping up and hyping up and up and up and up. And they're on a 5-game win streak right now. I'm going out on a limb with my record here, and I'm taking the Pacers over the Suns just off of the adrenaline of getting their new guy in there. Might catch Phoenix sleeping a little bit. And they're going to win it 110-102. And can't believe I just said that. Okay.
That had to be pretty painful for you right there, didn't it?
It's just not painful, just surprising. I don't know who said it. I mean, if it turns out to be all right, it was me, but, I don't know. Juice drink.
All right. So as soon as I saw that Ohio State absolutely walloped Purdue in Indiana, which made it all the better.
Beat him in overtime. Not exactly a wallop, but carry on.
Anyway, so I looked ahead. This is at very last second because I actually originally had the Pacers versus Sun. I decided to be nice. I gave it to Chris because it was both of his favorite teams. Literally, we were about to start recording. I was filling this out, and I realized who we play tonight as of 1:00 Saturday on CBS, and that is the game. Ohio State versus the team up north in the Big Ten semifinals. The Ohio State had been on a slump. They finally found their groove. It's been a minute. They finally found their groove. And I'm looking for them to keep the train running and win the Big Ten championship. Obviously. I am going to take them, obviously. But in no way, in any shape possible, am I going to ever predict the team up north to ever win, ever. So I'm going to take Ohio State 88-80 and sit blue the fuck down. Make Michigan our bitch again.
That's a good saying right there.
It's not bad.
Poor Rocket Mortgage also.
Poor
Michigan State didn't get mentioned.
You know what, though? My mom's actually going to text me after this goes up, and she goes, "You dare say that name?" she might disown me.
We're sorry for your loss.
That name.
Well,
I'm surprised it took her mom this long.
I'm going to go with an even crazier pick than both of you. I'm going to go for the Battle of New York right now. Brooklyn Nets versus the New York Nets. Knicks. Why did I say Nets twice? I'm crazy. I already know who's going to win, but I'm not going to pick them. No. On Monday night on ESPN, we will see the New York Knicks defeat the Brooklyn Nets. The 2016 All-Star roster.
But is Blake Griffin even going to play?
I have absolutely no idea. Is Kevin Durant even playing? I don't know. But you know what I do know? I love me some Julius Randle.
There it is.
The juice is loose again, ladies and gentlemen. And this time, he's not murdering anybody.
Nope.
Knicks over Nets. Put your pants on, ladies and gentlemen, because it's going to be a wild ride.
What did you drink before we started this, man? I know we were filming this late, but damn.
This time.
Well, you know what? It's so funny because we got some wild predictions here, but I mean that's just the nature of the beast. I really am not gonna lie. I feel like Tade saw the notes and saw that he's like, Chris is going with Indiana over Phoenix. That's a bit of an upset. Well, I gotta one up him. I have to. What's a crazier one that I can find? Well, I'll go with the Knicks over the Nets. That'll show them. That'll keep them in line.
With one of the worst teams in the East versus one of the best teams in the East.
They're a middle of the pack team in the East. They're a playoff bound team.
They're 500, man. They're 500. They're 19.
Derrick
Rose
19 and 19, is going to go off, my good sir. RJ Barrett.
I kind of forgot about RJ Barrett. I'm not going to lie.
I did too.
Well, guys,
is Frank Nicolina even on the team anymore?
I
completely forgot he existed.
He is. They don't play him. So.
Yeah, they don't play him.
Or Frenchman.
Well, there it is. Once again, recapping it. I took Pacers over Suns. Michael's taking Ohio State over Michigan. Tade is taking the New York Knicks over the Brooklyn Nets. Next week, we will recap and talk to you about how we went over 3 once again next week. So looking forward to that. And stay tuned. We did want to mention one final thing, some housekeeping. We are going to do some kind of collaboration with our parent company, if you will, 3C Media, with those boys over at Craig at Crash Course Podcast. We're going to do some kind of March Madness collaboration with them. We're going to do some brackets. We're going to do, we're ironing out the details as we speak. And guys, I think we're going to do something. Like I said, we're going to do something with them. We want to do something with you, the viewer. If you want, join in, fill out brackets with us. We're going to have some fun with this. Obviously this is our first year doing this. So we're trying to hype it up. We're trying to build some tradition to do this. Cause man, there's nothing like March Madness. There just isn't. There's nothing that comes close to it. And not having it last year has just made this year's so much, I think, more encapsulating and so much just more exciting. Like I feel that I feel that tension building up already, and I'm just super excited for everything, starting with Selection Sunday around the corner. And so we're going to do something with them. Guys, how are we thinking? I kind of want us to do, aside from the collaboration with 3C Media, I kind of want us to do maybe just one collaborative bracket that the three of us agree on that we just kind of track as it goes. So it's just, let's see how these three dumb guys can put together a bracket and see if they can do anything solid with it. We'll figure it all out before. We'll do it before next week's show. We'll have it ironed out. We will get all the details to you guys next week. Stay tuned for that. Or, who knows, maybe we'll come in the middle of the week. Just stay ready, stay focused. We'll be around.
We will definitely be posting it on our social medias whenever we get this ironed out. There have been some, I know we've thrown around the idea. Yeah. Twitter. Oh, over here. Twitter right here. Tade will post something on FanDuel, I guess. I don't know how that works.
He'll throw it out there.
It'll get put out somewhere. But I know there's been ideas about even potential guests. Everything's on the table and we are so excited. So I really can't wait. And I also, I don't know why I'm throwing this out there now. Maybe we might even, if we do a collaborative draft, maybe we live stream it. I don't know. I don't know how this stuff works.
We could do that.
If you can come in and join us bitching. We might be drunk. I don't know. We'll figure that out later.
We'll do we can definitely do something. We're going to do, we're going to do it big. I'll leave it at that. We are going to do it big. It's March Madness. It's in Indiana. The whole tournament's here. I mean, we gotta show up. We're Hoosiers, baby. We gotta show up this year of all. So we'll keep you guys up to date. Stay on the edge of your seats there. Don't move. And I think we're all gonna hop off and be jealous because I think we're all gonna play some PS5. So
yes,
let's get to it because this guy got his a month early somehow. Hey, shout out Walmart shipping me mine a month early. That was insane. All right, guys. On a serious note, thank you guys once again. It's been super fun. Been a great first month. We're looking for so many more great months and memories and stuff. This has been a lot of fun. So keep up with us. Have a good week. Stay classy. We will see y'all next time.